When I was a new therapist some time ago, I quickly learned that true happiness and fulfillment come from emotional strength. Without emotional strength, every aspect of life, relationships, work, health, can spiral out of control. So in today's video, I'm going to dive into why so many people struggle with emotional strength and what you can do to build it. I'll share with you techniques for self-soothing, which is so important for when you do allow yourself to truly feel your emotions. You have to learn how to manage them. And stick around until the end for a funny story that I'm going to share with you about an unexpected story about a man who learned to keep his temper in check in a very unique way. So one of my pet peeves is when someone calls a person strong after they have been through something awful, simply because they are not showing emotion. This is not strength. It is denying, burying, or numbing your emotions. And the most important thing that you need to grow to be an emotionally strong person is support. And I'm going to show you throughout this whole video how and why support helps you become emotionally strong. And I'm going to talk about what emotional strength looks like. Although support helps you learn to be emotionally strong, what's most important is that you have the right kind of support. Someone who will be present with you when you are sharing your emotions. Someone who will validate you, empathize, and show compassion. And maybe most important of all, try to understand you and what you are going through. Having support from someone else helps us feel safe and understood, making it easier to handle our emotions. It can also help us feel connected, which makes us stronger in dealing with challenges that life throws our way.
It's not your fault.
Now that is emotional strength, and I know it doesn't look like it, but it is. And the only way that he got there was by having a supportive relationship. Yes, it was therapy, but it doesn't always have to be therapy. It can be a supportive friend or a mentor. And being able to cry about your pain shows emotional strength because it means you are acknowledging and expressing your feelings rather than suppressing them. And this openness helps you process your emotions and your pain and heal. And with support, you can learn to see yourself in positive ways and understand your challenges with compassion.
This girl's like perfect right now. I don't want to ruin that.
Maybe you're perfect right now. Maybe you don't want to ruin that. You're not perfect, sport. And let me save you the suspense. This girl you met, she isn't perfect either. But the question is whether or not you're perfect for each other. That's the whole deal.
He is challenging him here in a compassionate and supportive way, and that will help him grow. But the first thing to recognize is that strength is allowing yourself to feel your emotions and share your emotions with each other. And I know it is so much easier said than done, but one of the first things you can do is ask yourself, if you do happen to bury your emotions or deny or numb them, ask yourself why and where did you learn to do that? Once you answer that question, it's important to understand that those coping strategies that worked for you probably when you were young are likely not working for you now.
Wonder what your life would be like if you never met your wife. I didn't mean it like.
It's all right. It's an important question.
And you don't regret meeting your wife.
Why? Because the pain I feel now? Oh, I got regrets, Will, but I don't regret a single day I spent with her.
I love this scene because Will, the character in this movie, is trying to figure himself out. He fears intimacy. He fears getting hurt and being vulnerable. So he asks his therapist a very hard question. Does he regret being with his wife because of the pain that he went through when she had cancer and the pain that he experiences now from losing her. So the therapist, played by the wonderful Robin Williams, answers the question authentically, validating and supporting Will while encouraging him to ask tough questions. He not only helps Will gain self-awareness, but he is also role modeling emotional inner strength because of the pain he went through with losing his wife. Okay, so what do you do to manage challenging emotions when you feel them? Or rather than managing, I like to think of it as self-soothing. Well, there are two important ways to self-soothe, and both are equally important. So first, let's talk about how to self-soothe in physical ways. I feel almost instantly calm when I step into nature or my garden, or I get on my bike, or I go for a hike. I feel calm when I'm with my dog, or when I give myself a break and I don't take on so much, or when I spend time with people who care about me. Or a big one for me is when I journal, sometimes just a vent. Some people like to work out. It's amazing, by the way, how working out can move emotions out of your body. Some like to have quiet time or be with friends. You have to find out what works best for you. And the second way of self-soothing is about how we talk to ourselves. And if you have on a regular basis engaged in harsh self-talk, it takes a while to undo that and to shift to self-compassion and self-understanding. But let me make one suggestion. Think of the person that you love most in the world. It could be your child or your spouse or your parents or a friend or your dog or your cat. Then talk to yourself as if you were talking to that person or animal that you love most in the world. It's a place to start. Okay, so here's the story that I promised. I was working with a man who felt a lot of shame because he had a short fuse with his son. He wanted to do better, but he struggled to calm himself in the moment. So I said to him, I have a strange suggestion for you. So with curiosity and a bit of, I'm not sure what she's going to say next, he said, okay, what is it? And I said, if you're at home and it's possible, when you know that you're going to lose your temper, go get in the shower. He looked at me like I was nuts. And I explained to him that water is very calming. It is a quick way to calm yourself when you feel like you can't. So the funny part was, a couple weeks later, I was talking with his wife, and she told me that her husband had been doing such a great job of calming himself with their son. I mentioned the suggestion that I had made to him about the shower because I didn't know if he had decided to give it a try, and she nearly jumped out of her seat and she said, so that's why he's taking so many showers. Sometimes we just need something fast to calm us down. Obviously, we don't always have access to a shower, but overall, it's about building a stronger inner world, just like you build physical strength. It takes time and patience. You won't always be perfect. I know I'm not, but you can work at it. So thank you so much for watching. I do hope that you found this video helpful. And if you do subscribe, I really do appreciate your support. And I hope that my content supports you in return. See you again soon.